welcome to Sport 360's virtual interview with two extremely talented individuals and absolute superstars of motorsport. I am, of course, talking about Formula One drivers and teammates of Red Bull Racing, Max Verstappen and Albon. Welcome, guys.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
We've got a lot to get through, so much like a lap around the track, time is of the essence. So we're going to jump right in with questions for both of you to start off with. Now, the season was supposed to begin in March, but it was obviously suspended when we got thrown into lockdown. So how did you guys prepare individually during lockdown for the season?
Well, I mean, of course, so I would say the first 2 months, maybe. I stayed, at home. We were forced to be at home. And basically in those months, I did a lot of sim racing. So yeah, maybe not racing in real life on track, but I was definitely on the simulator a lot.
Yeah, same as Max. Actually, there was a period of time where we had no idea what was going to happen. And we were one of the first sports to get up and running. But in the meantime, I was getting really bored. So I made like a golf net in the back of my garden to hit some golf balls, and I made a gym in my garage, and then that was it really. And nice. Also same as Max, did some sim and did some live streaming as well on Twitch and stuff, which was painful.
I can say I think a lot of us enjoyed that those Twitch live streams.
Yeah.
Looking back at 2020, it's been such a challenging year. How has that made you think about life in general and your opinions on people and different situations, just the way that the year has carried out?
Well, I guess you just appreciate freedom a bit more. Yeah, which we didn't appreciate. It just didn't come that easy to your mind. You thought it was just very normal. The rest, I don't know. Yeah. You hope that, of course, very quickly everything will be back to normal.
Yeah, I would say, especially in Formula One, the whole situation has been handled really, really well. The safety and precautions. Even coming here has been crazy. How everyone is wearing hazmat suits. When we came in, so we're in our own little bubble, and honestly, I would say it's quite strange because we are so strict. When we go back home and we go to see our family and everything, it's weird to see people actually outside and doing things, because we're kind of self-contained here. It's been quite strange living in hotels and just being so strict, but at the same time, we're two drivers out of a team of 1,000 people, so we have to kind of really be on top of it, because obviously, well, without the drivers, there's not much racing.
Exactly. So I'm really interested to get your answers on this question in particular, because it annoys me to no end. And it's that one of the biggest misconceptions about F1 drivers is that they're not as fit as other athletes. Tell us a little bit about the kind of physical demands that goes into being an F1 driver.
Okay. Well, basically, I'd say first thing off is we're driving for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and average heart rate is about 165, 170 beats per minute. So we're doing that for a good amount of time, and then of course on top of that, we've just got a lot of things going on. So mentally, I'd say it's more of a mental and more mental/physical than 100 meters is 100% physical, let's say. We're a bit different to that.
Yeah, I don't, people like that, or I ignore them, or I just find them really stupid. So, who even asked the question is the same as when they ask, is football a sport? People like that, I cannot deal with them.
So how much weight do you all actually lose on average per race?
Depends a bit, right, on what Grand Prix. Singapore, some other ones, just where the humidity is very high, you're sweating a lot. Basically, you lose more.
Say it's about 2 kilos. On a hot race, it's about 2 kilos.
It's quite a bit, yeah. Then I mean, in a way, it's nice because then you know that once you stop, you can eat a lot in the evening. So this is good.
Eat and drink.
Yeah, but there are also some races. I mean, I might lose 300 grams or something. Or
In Silverstone.
It's like, yeah.
Actually,
Daily.
yeah, but the thing is like we lose so much weight. So I think I'm a bit. I have like a super quick metabolism. So for me, if I do a triple header, I'll start the triple header at about, let's say my body weight, which is about 73 kilos. And by the end of 3 weeks, I'm about 71 kilos. So I'll lose like 2
I just
kilos.
get heavier.
But yeah, it's different. But for me, like
you can eat a lot.
Yeah.
Compared to me, it's insane how much you can eat.
Yeah, I eat like twice the amount of Max.
It's insane. If I would do that, I would literally be, I think, with suit and everything, 85.
Right. So looking back at Imola this year, I remember there was only one practice session. How did that affect you all as drivers and your workings? And is that something that should be avoided moving forward?
Well,
Is that Imola?
Yeah, it depends. So sometimes it can work well when the car immediately has a good setup. Then it doesn't really matter. Then you're okay with it. But for sure, there will be some Grand Prix where you might struggle a bit more with car balance, and then it will be very tough to go into qualifying. So I don't mind two practice sessions of 1.5 hours. I think that for me works well, and I think you can still squeeze that in on one day if that's what they want to do.
Exactly. I think it depends on what we want in Formula One, because the races are just getting more and more. And if you saw this year with COVID, everything was bunched up. Like the schedule went from basically what we normally do is like 1 week racing, 1 week off, 1 week racing more or less, to suddenly triple headers, like race, break, race. And if that's the case, because we are increasing the races each year now, I think we're going to have to start doing something like 2-day weekends, just because it's not fair on the mechanics and everyone. You know, everyone has families, everyone has kids. I mean, especially the engineers and mechanics, as I said. So if it goes in that direction, which it looks like it is, I think 2-day weekends are not a bad idea, just because obviously it means an extra day at home, and for the guys that adds up quite a lot.
Interesting. So Imola was just one small part of what's been a roller coaster season. I'm sure you have a lot of highlights. What's your best memory from what's been a really unpredictable campaign?
My best memory, well, probably winning the race in Silverstone. I mean, that was quite unexpected, and yeah, it was just very nice, to be honest. Great feeling. But then I had some other races where I also felt happy. But yeah, that one I think stands out.
Nice. And yeah, for me, would be my first podium in Mugello. It was a nice race, just nice overtakes and good food. So
we are nearing the end of the season now, just one race to go. What are your plans for the off season? How do you normally like to unwind?
Well, from my side, I want to see the family first, also because my sister, she just got a baby. So
was that? How long ago was that?
2 days ago.
Oh no!
Yeah. It was very special to see that. But yeah, I'll spend a bit of time with especially my sister first and my mom, and then visit my dad as well, of course, and then a little holiday afterwards, after Christmas.
Same as Max, actually. I think we've been missing our family quite a lot. We haven't seen them at all this year. So going back will be nice for a little bit over Christmas, and then hopefully, same as Max, try and leave the UK and go somewhere warm for a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're going to move on to just a few questions for Max first. This is quite remarkable, but at only 23, you already have more F1 experience than over half the grid at the moment. So how would you say you've evolved as a driver over the last 6 seasons?
I think you get better, but more in I'll move you get better, but just purely because of experience, you really have had a lot of moments, throughout every weekend where you learn, you make mistakes, you do well, all these kind of things, I think, make you a better driver at the end. Yeah.
So one of the things we were denied by this season is a return to Zandvoort, and we were all really looking forward to that, given how passionate the fan base is there and such a great circuit. The good news is that it is on the calendar for 2021. So how much are you looking forward to that, which would essentially be your home race?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it for sure. But to be honest, I'm looking forward to a lot of Grand Prix. It's not like suddenly I'm way more excited, but I mean, the track is a cool track, and hopefully, of course, we can go there, and hopefully, it will just be an exciting weekend. That's the most important.
Right. So away from Formula One, what are the bucket list items that you have? Maybe something like skydiving, and we hear that you're particularly interested in swimming with sharks.
Oh yeah, I love it. And then afterwards, maybe play with some snakes as well, and some spiders in the bed. That would be lovely. No, not at all. My bucket, honestly, for me, I really enjoy spending time with family and friends, and just have a good time with them, and that can be anywhere in the world. So just travel around a bit, see different places in the world for me.
So we've enjoyed some of your radio messages this season, especially telling your engineer to remember to stay hydrated and stuff like that. Is that bringing that kind of lighthearted conversation in those radio messages? Does that help a lot?
Well, it just shows that the relationship, I think, in the team is very nice. Like, everyone really gets on with each other, and when you can joke like that during the race, I mean, why not? He likes it secretly as well.
Right. So I think we'll move on to a few questions for Alex now before we do a quick fire round to finish.
Lovely.
Great. Right, Alex. So you only joined the team during the course of last season. You made the step up to Red Bull Racing.
Yes.
What's been your favorite moment so far?
Favorite moment? I would say, I'm trying to think. Racing wise, well, I would say even this year, it was the podium. It was just so nice, to be up there. It's something which you dream of as a kid. So being up on the podium is pretty special, and it was a good race as well. It wasn't one of them, let's say, easy races. It was like a race where we were having to make a lot of overtakes. So that was fun.
There was always going to be an adjustment period, and there have been ups and downs. So what's been the most challenging aspect for you?
I'd say most probably more just getting used to the noise of the paddock, because when you go into a top team, the first thing is just you're under the spotlight a lot more, and there's a lot more going on. So when you go in from, which was Toro Rosso at the time, it's kind of like you can get away. You can make mistakes, you can do things, and no one really pays too much attention. But of course, when you're in a top team, everything is put to light. So I think my initial reaction was, wow, there's a lot of talking that goes on. There's a lot of media stuff that goes ahead when you're up at the top end, and it was something I had to get used to, and I still am, truthfully. But I feel like the more races you do, the more experience you get, and you just get better and better at coping with it.
So you've earned yourself a nickname now, Mr. Round the Outside. I think a lot of people have enjoyed some of your overtakes. I particularly enjoyed the one on Perez in Mugello, I think it was.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So is that something that's always been part of your driving style? And what does it say about the car as well when you're able to pull off those maneuvers?
I mean, it basically, well, it wouldn't normally be part of my driving style, but I was struggling a bit more with qualifying this year, so I've been having to make some more overtakes. and I guess getting around the outside. I don't know where it came from, because truthfully, if the inside was open, I would overtake on the inside. But most people defend the inside quite well, so it just made me end up having to overtake around the outside at the time. So that's where it came from. But I wouldn't say it was it's not something I choose. I don't try and overtake everyone around the outside.
Right. So now that you've experienced life, in the junior team and now making the step up to Red Bull Racing, what would you say is the most important thing to succeed within the team?
I'd say, firstly, of course, you have to deal with the pressures of it. Motorsport itself is one of them sports where there's only 20 drivers, as you know, so it's all about performing under pressure. But also, apart from that, just keeping your head cool, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of times when it doesn't go your way, but it's just about dealing with it. And of course, being Red Bull, they do things big, so you just have to get used to that.
But yeah. So if you weren't in motorsport, what other profession might interest you?
Oh, that'd be useless.
Hosting the parties. I think
a party hoster.
Yeah.
You'd be a DJ.
Yeah.
Max could be a promo boy.
Promo boy.
I will be the promoter.
You'd be the guy with the Red Bull backpack giving out Red Bulls. I would be something to do with like graphic design.
Yeah, I would set up the after parties.
After party.
One driver from the past that you'd love to race against?
My dad. When he was younger.
I would say race against. I don't know. I'd say my hero, Michael Schumacher.
Yas Marina circuit. What's your favorite part of it?
So the 18 to 19 we go under the hotel. That's pretty cool. It's not, the corners aren't that amazing.
It also feels a bit like a street circuit around there.
It does.
Because of it's very tight.
It's very tight. So yeah, turn 18, turn 19.
Who is the best esport driver on the F1 grid right now?
My rating is the highest.
You definitely
say that.
I would definitely say you have the most hours.
Yeah, but Lando is, but it depends on the game as well. There are so many games, so it's difficult to say. But I think Lando also, he's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And it depends on what car you drive, and it can depend on a lot of things. But in general, I think the younger guys are faster than the older generation.
It would be good. It would be interesting to do. But I think I've never raced Max in.
I raced your brother.
Yeah, he's my brother. So thank you everyone
for speaking to us, and all the best for a final race, and then a much deserved break at the end of the season.
Thank you guys.
All right,
thank you everyone. Bye bye.